Hey, it's Josh here from Kelford Cams. It's been a couple of months since our last catch-up. Been some exciting changes in the workshop happening lately. Behind me is our hoist, which we've had to move over the last couple of weeks. The hoist move is more to allow us to move our shelf stock for the space of our new machinery coming in. So we've had our new Doosan TT2500 twin turret, twin spindle machine arrive this morning. We're going to come and show you what's been happening in the workshop lately and check out this new machine. So we're here with Rupert. It's Rupert's task to run our new machine. The cool part about this new machine is it's going to do what these two machines do in one op. So first up is this billet bar goes into our Doosan 1. We machine it to this point here. We then put it into our second machine for its second op, and it ends up finished like this. So why don't we go and check out the new machine? It's currently on its base feet. The next part of this task is basically to put power, air and some data to it, get it powered up and then start the leveling process. So that's going to be Monday, Tuesday next week, and then our step after that is probably get some tools in it and get our training moving. So obviously I was saying before, this machine is way bigger than our previous machines. It's also a lot heavier. It will also machine camshafts twice as fast. Rupert, do you want to take us through a little bit about what's going on in here and how we're going to actually speed up our process of machining?
Yeah, of course. So if we jump in here and actually get a good visual on what's different about it, clearly see we're running two separate turrets now rather than one you can see in the 2100 LSY machines. As well as currently we've got two 10-inch shucks on here that will be swapped out to full collet systems. The Lynx 2100 LSYs, fantastic piece of kit. Unfortunately, the sub spindles on those far too small to fit a camshaft up the back end of it. Whereas this, we've got two chucks exactly the same size. So it allows us to continue our pull-out method, except keep things way narrower and way closer to that working envelope between two pieces, as well as finish it out and actually drag the whole camshaft through and machine the backside at the same time. Getting rid of what you can see down there of having that little wee nub section on the back end, that's completely gone. The part comes out of the machine finished, ready to be loaded up, ready to be milled, heat treated and then ground.
So this machine's a TT2500 and an SY. Can you tell us about the Y part of this machine?
Top turret on this has a Y, just like the other smaller wee lathes we've got. Bottom turret doesn't have a Y in it, but both turrets do have live tooling and milling capability.
So the second spindle is basically a mirror image of the front spindle. So we can put a bar liner in there and pass a camshaft that is finished out the back if we want to.
Yep, that's the plan.
In regards to speed, how are we going to actually speed up the process of machining a camshaft? We do have a second turret, but what does that aid in material removing?
With this, we can run twin synchronized machining from the top and the bottom of the camshaft. Means we're running essentially halving our tool pathing. We've got two running both sides, top and bottom. It also keeps things nice and concentric because obviously you're not going to have one tool pushing all the force downwards. You've got two opposite each other attacking it at the same time. Holds everything nice and true.
Will we use the same method as the other machine, which is currently like a radius grooving tool and side turn, or do you reckon we'll end up plunging with this?
Hopefully we'll be plunging. The cycle time will drop a whole lot if we can just plunge groove, especially from both sides. Still more than likely be finishing with fully radius groovers. They just leave a nice finish. We want to keep that similar to how we've been finishing them at this point. But anything to just mow out as much material as we can before finishing.
Appreciate the insight. So I think the next step for us is to get this unwrapped completely, get it all set up and leveled, put some power to it, like I said before. Yeah, start the training and get some camshafts moving off it. So it's been a couple of weeks since we caught up with Rupert at the TT2500 machine. It's been a lot going on. We've gone through and proofed out barras and now running production. Did you want to talk a little bit more in depth about what's going on and how the machining's going?
It was obviously a massive job to begin with. There's a lot of learning we had to get into, especially with how to program this machine, as well as getting pretty heavy into our top solid program. We started off kind of getting right into the deep end on top solid, where we'd set up a full simulation, full tooling, basically a full model of the machine itself in top solid, so we could check clearances and things much easier than having to run it or handle things into place to really see it. So once we'd got there, we spent a bunch of time trying out some new tool paths that we can do having twin turrets rather than just the single. A lot of the pinch tuning, stuff that no one's ever really done until they've done it. So we got that figured out eventually, as well as some of the more tricky stuff is lining up scenarios, lining up the two turrets to be in places where they would stay and wait for the other one as needed, and dialing in our post. So it kind of works in a big loop at the moment.
Yep, you have to try something first and figure it out if it works or if it doesn't.
Absolutely. But we've got through there at this point. So with this, luckily compared to the other ones, we do have a operational bar feeder at the moment, as well as a full bar stop in the machine that's just going to live in there. So as we're running through it, every time it's gotten to the end and it's finished it and we've taken our part out of it, it's going to automatically feed another one into it. As well as having auto doors on this machine, the only time we ever touch it is the door will open itself and tell you to take the part out.
Awesome. So moving forward, obviously this is running an 8-hour shift and we're making yay parts. How do we better, or how do we get more parts per day? What's next?
Robot arm.
Robot arm.
Yeah, obviously with having we decided to go with the automatic door with this for that specific reason in the first place. You set it up, all it needs to do is wait for the door to open, pull the camshaft out, and either hit the go button, or whether we can set it up with a signal once it's finished to tell the machine to close the door.
Awesome. In regards to this machine compared to some of our others, how much faster is the machining cycle?
We're estimating about double at this point. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? You've got a top and a bottom turret.
Yeah. Could
be effectively even more than that, looking at sort of the slightly shorter ones compared to the barriers we're running now, which are massive, huge things.
Yep.
And we're getting similar times for something half the size compared to what we're making in this.
So we can actually push this machine a little bit harder, speeds and feed wise?
Wee bit harder, yeah. It's much more rigid with the capto tooling we've gotten here now. Everything's really rock solid.
Yeah.
Everything's chipping beautifully. We could really lean on the tools a wee bit more.
Sweet. So thanks for that, Rupert. Exciting times ahead. Obviously, we'll finish this run of production and the next parts will be going through the machine shortly.
Yeah, change it up, something a wee bit different. We'll see how it responds.
Cool. So thanks for watching. Keep an eye out on exciting things ahead.